February 1. It is about 4 o'clock, so we are going to go ahead and get started for our 10th grade parent presentation. Thank you so much for joining us today, this afternoon, on some of your learners' first day back here on campus. So we're very happy that you were able to join us tonight. So I am going to give a little blurb about PTSA. Rashmi Kinney, our PTSA president, is typically here at these presentations, but she was not able to make it tonight. So if for those of you that don't know, PTSA partners with different departments of the school to provide various programs for your students and also help purchase of emergency preparedness items, lunch tables, and many other things. Without your support, we would not be able to help the school with any of this. Every dollar donated goes directly back to the school and to your students. If you have not already done so, please join and donate. You can do this online through their website. And if you have any other questions, you could email Rashmi Kinney, and please follow them at Portola High PTSA on Instagram and on Facebook. So now I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Maureen Muir, who is our mental health specialist.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to just take a couple minutes and talk a little bit about what I do at the school and extra support options that are available to you, your family, and your teen if needed. So I feel this is my 5th school year that I've just started here at Portola, and I feel very lucky to work here. We have, in our counseling department, we really try to focus or a big focus on social emotional support for our students, along with obviously with their academic support. But I think right now, just the times that we're having, I mean, today we had our first day. That's what we were all kind of saying around here. And I think there's just been so much adjustment, so much transition. So it's really important to just be thinking about mental health in general. So what I do here at the school, I do provide mental health support. I would say the majority of what I do is crisis assessments, suicide, safety concerns, and just doing what needs to be done to keep the student or other students safe in that situation. I am a licensed mental health therapist, but I do not provide any sort of long-term ongoing therapy. A lot of what I do is just linking families to outside services, whether it's basic needs, case management services, or mental health services, kind of depending on the situation of what's going on with your teen and what kind of resources would help your family or child, depending on the situation. So, Ryan, you want to go to the next one? Or whoever, sorry. So I just briefly, you can read the screen, it's very simple. Today was a big day for a lot of people, for all the staff here at Portola, for all, a lot of your families just coming back on campus, or a lot of your children or your teens might be coming back tomorrow, or not if you're an IVA student. But it's really important to my main thing I've been telling everyone is, right now, the connection in any way that you can connect, whether it's with a colleague, with a friend, with your child, because 6 months ago, everyone's life got uprooted in some way, shape, or form, and a lot of us lost a lot of connections that we had on a daily basis, whether it was coming into work and seeing people we work with, or for our students, it was being able to see their friends at school every day. And then everything changed, in a moment. And so all of us have been affected in so many different ways. There's a lot of grief happening. There's a lot of loss happening just because of what we all have been dealing with and the unknowns that are coming. And so it really is important to figure out how to connect with others when we can't physically, give hugs, stand close to each other, but we can still connect. And for our students here, a lot of their connection is through social media, except today we kind of saw them, standing 6 feet apart, but still being able to actually see their friends in person, which is huge for them. A teen's whole life is around their friends and their social scenes. And So I think it's really important that you figure out a way to connect with your student or with your child. So connecting with a teen is not so easy. Every answer you say, if you ask one of those questions, how are you? How was your first day back at school? You're most likely just going to get fine. It was great. Fine. Lots of fines and okays. So you do have to figure out ways to ask certain questions, not just like, so they can't just give that automatic kind of yes or no or fine answer, but it's really important, you know, just the year that they're going into, coming back on campus, how can they connect, and how can they connect in a different way with others, with their friends, with you and as a family. So it's just important to figure out how to connect in different ways. So the main thing here at Portola, we're trying to figure out the best way to reach out to students that might need extra support. But please let us know if you have any concerns, whether it's your own child, it's a friend, it's someone else. Please reach out to us. You can send us an email. We also have an anonymous reporting system called Say Something, where you can report any concerns that you have, and we will follow up. We follow up on every single report that comes in on that. And just reach out to us, because we don't know if something's going on. We don't know if your child is hurting unless you let us know, and then we can figure out the supports in place. So that's it for me. Thank you. Oh, just kidding. That's not it for me. These are my 2 favorite books ever that I tell everyone about. If you're looking for some extra parenting support, like I said, these are 2 of my favorite books to recommend. The one on the right, How to Raise an Adult, kind of getting out of that overparenting trap. It was written by the author. She's a former dean at Stanford. She was the dean when the first wave of millennial students came in. And so it's talking about her research, her experience with millennials not having a lot of those life skills that they need to be successful on their own once they kind of launch out of their or kind of launch out of high school and go into college. It is a little bit of a lengthy book, so if you're not much of a book reader, she does have an awesome TED Talk, kind of sums up the book in about 20 minutes. So I would definitely check that out. The Gift of Failure is just also very good, kind of talking about that failures are opportunities in disguise, and we can't always, we need to figure out how to help our kids be okay with failure and to be able to move on and use it as an opportunity to learn. So there are 2 really, really awesome books if you're kind of looking for some more help with parenting a teen, which is not easy. So thank you.
How are you? I'm Mr. Carey, and I'm new to Portola this year, and I'm the project success specialist here. I work directly with the counselors here at Portola and the mental health specialist, Mrs. Meir, who just got done speaking. We all work hand in hand, and one of my key focuses I've worked on with students is stress management, healthy relationships, thoughts and feelings, and social skills and communication skills. It's important for our teens to learn and develop that, and I'm just another layer of support and part of the counseling team for that. I look forward to meeting with any student this year, and if you have anything that you need from the Project Success Office, go through your counselors or Mrs. Meir, and I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gil. Okay, so this is your wonderful counseling team here at Portola High School. We work with students with the last names listed below. So as I mentioned before, I'm Melissa Gibson. We have Miss Nicole Eprez, Mr. Ryan Itchon, Mrs. Jamie Murphy, and Mrs. Shari Markowitz. Mrs. Shari Markowitz is our IVA counselor for Portola High School students. So we're all here to help your students succeed here at Portola. So we are going to be doing an interactive reflection activity right now. So if you wouldn't mind, take out your phones. And in order to participate, take out your phone and text the number 37607 with the message Portola Counts 513. All right. Mr. Itchon, can you go to the next slide? Okay, so the question to you is, in one word, how would you define success for your child after high school? Go ahead and start responding. Happiness, confident, independent, resilient, well-rounded. Independent's a big one right now, and confident. Purposeful. All right, we have 96 participants, but I don't see that many different things up here, but I like what we're seeing. So sometimes in students' eyes, success is getting into that top college or getting the highest GPA in high school. Good decision making, I like it. But even though those are all great accomplishments to have, we really feel here at Portola that the definition of success is for all students to be healthy and well balanced, as along with everything that you as parents have put up here. It is important to keep this in mind when talking with your learner about their future and college decisions and everything else that is going to be coming up over the next couple of years. So we are briefly going to touch about high school graduation requirements. We talked about it last year. We will talk about it again this year. So in order to graduate from high school, you need a minimum of 215 total credits. So it is broken up into those categories. So it is 4 years of English, 2 years of math, and that has to include Math 1 or higher, 2 years of science, 3 years of social science, 1 year, which is only 10 credits of either a world language, a visual or performing art or career technical class, 2 years of PE, 5 credits of health, which is just 1 semester, and then 70 general electives. And the general electives are going to be any class above and beyond the minimum graduation requirements. They automatically fall into that general elective category. So we are moving on to how to be eligible for a UC or Cal State school. So you, right now, it's meet the A through G requirements. For UCs, you need to have a minimum 3.0 or higher GPA. And for Cal States, it's going to be a 2.0 or higher GPA. So these are the A through G requirements. They're a little more detailed than our high school graduation requirements. For high school graduation, you have to complete the classes with a D to get a diploma. For A through G requirements, you need to complete the following requirements with a C or higher. So the A through G requirements are 2 years of a history, so 1 year of world, 1 year of American history, and the third year is going to be the passion project. And then B is going to be English, which is 4 years. C is math, it's going to be 3 years required, 4 recommended. Science, 2 years required, 3 recommended. And here at Portola, that would be living earth, chemistry of the earth, and then physics of the universe. World language, they are recommending 2 required, they're requiring 2, 3 is going to be recommended. Visual performing art is 1 year required of the same course. And college prep elective is just 1 year required in addition to those required in A through F. It's important to note here, even though there is a minimum that is required, it's always better to err on the side of caution and to go with what is recommended. So SAT and ACT testing updates. So for UCs, admission to UC will now be test blind for applicants. UCs won't use your scores to test your test scores to make admission decisions. SAT and AC scores may be used for scholarships, determining eligibility and statewide admissions, guarantee, and course placement after you enroll. For Cal States, it is temporarily suspended for fall 2021 applicants for both the SAT and ACT. And several private and out-of-state schools have adopted a test optional policy. And I want to go into briefly about the difference between test optional versus test blind. So under the test optional policy, colleges will still welcome test scores from students who submit them and will consider them a valuable data point and part of the review process if testing is available. In contrast, if a school is test blind, it means that they will not consider standardized testing at all. So that's a brief overview of the difference between test blind and test optional. There are SAT subject tests that are available to your learner. So these tests are not required for UC admission, but are highly recommended if you are taking the aligning course. It's important to note for the languages, that test is only offered in November with that listening portion, and that is what you need to do to pass that SAT subject test. So health is a graduation requirement that I talked about to complete those 215 credits. It is a 1-semester class. You can complete this class during the school year or over the summer via blended learning. And then there is driver's education that is available as well. This course is 2.5 elective credits, so it's pass or fail. It is a class that meets the DMV minimum requirement of the 30 hours of classroom instruction in order to obtain a learner's permit. In order to take this class, you must be 15 years old before the start of the course to enroll. And if your student has any questions about enrolling, they could come see their counselor. So we want students to get engaged, and this year it is going to look a little different, but we are going to try and encourage students to get engaged as much as possible. Sophomore year is a time for learners to dig deeper into their passions, increase involvement in clubs, seek leadership positions, join new clubs, sports, activities of interest. So we really encourage students, especially with this hybrid/virtual learning environment, to really try and get engaged as much as possible and really have that connection with the school. And it is in red, sorry, community service, we'll talk about in this slide. It's okay, Ryan, you can go on. Community service is not required for graduation. However, if your learner wants to complete community service, they will receive recognition of those hours on their transcript. So in order to have that notation on their transcript, they must obtain a letter from their supervisor on official agency letterhead confirming the amount of hours they worked, and they need to upload it to their online submission on our website, which is under the counseling tab. And there is also a list of community service organizations in Orange County that can be found on our website. The deadline for submitting hours is May 21st at 3 p.m. And now I'm passing the mic over to
Hi everyone, my name is Nicole Rangifo. I'm the College and Career Coordinator here at Portola High School. So my office is located inside the counseling office. So if your student or your family ever needs anything, you've probably walked past this office many times, but some of the things that I can help you with or your learner includes college admission information. This is really important, especially now that things have been changing frequently, so we can keep you up to date on all of the different college admissions informations, including workshops. We also help with standardized testing, especially with the updates coming up now. We can keep you guys in the loop with SAT, ACT, and AP testing information. We also have college visits on campus. Traditionally, they take place in the counseling office, but this year they are hosted virtually. So this year alone, we have approximately 60 visits coming to campus. And we have schools from the UCs, Cal States, out of state, private, community college, trade schools. So definitely a little bit of something for everyone. And then another area that I help students and families are scholarships and financial aid information. So if you ever have any questions on any of those things, you can feel free to email me and I'll be glad to assist you. So now I'm going to pass it on to Mrs. Escoto.
Hi everyone, I'm Pashia Escoto. I'm the career specialist here with Coastline RLP, and I'm going to take a few minutes to just discuss what RLP is, how your learner can register for our RP class, and as well a really wonderful program we have that perhaps you can be involved with. So ROP has been around for many years. I myself took it when I was in high school, and it stands for Regional Occupational Program. It's a career technical educational based type of learning. So there are many benefits from taking an ROP class. I kind of wanted to highlight two of them. The first one being that the learner, the student will gain experience required for immediate employment. And then the second one, which I really wish was around when I was in high school, is that it meets UC and CSU admissions requirement. And so it definitely will enhance that college application for the student. Next slide, please. So here are the courses that we offer at Portola. They're in Bell, and we have 4 at the moment. And so if any time your student wants to take these courses, they would register with their counselor. Next slide. And then the next slide here, we show the courses that are offered after school. There's quite a variety. And so anytime students want to register for these classes, they would come to me and I'll be happy to help them. Next slide, please. And some of the courses that are offered through ROP have internships. Here's a list. And an example of one that's pretty popular among our learners at Portola is the medical nursing career internship. So what it means is that half the time will be taught theoretically in a classroom setting, and then the other half will be done at an internship site. And I believe ours is Hoag Hospital. Now with COVID, ROP is in communication with Hoag, so definitely will look a little different this year, but we're definitely gonna still have it. Next slide, please. And then lastly, a really wonderful program that the counseling team, along with collaboration with the PTSA, have here is called Pursue Your Passion. And so our learners can take advantage of this by learning from those in different perspective fields. And so we really promote just different ways that students can learn, whether it be on-campus presentation, shadowing opportunities. So if you or anyone you know are interested in being a presenter at our next career lunch, please fill out this form and we'll be happy to follow up with you. Thank you, everyone.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. All right, so my question to you all, as your learners have all finished their first year, going into their second year, is it better to be a specialist or well-rounded as a student? So specialist meaning focusing on one thing with all their might, or well-rounded meaning, right, they're in a variety of different things. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to launch this poll and we will see what all of you think. All right, so I went ahead and launched the poll. Ooh, there we go, nice. Hopefully you guys can see the responses. If not, then I can go ahead and show it to you. So right now, 87%, 84% well-rounded, specialist 17%. And so almost 70% have voted so far. Make your vote count. All right. We almost got everyone. We got 80%. Some indecisive ones is okay. All right, so 83%. End polling, share results. Okay, so here are the results. Hopefully everyone can see it, but we had 78% say well-rounded and 24% say specialist. So is it true that it's more important to be well-rounded or a specialist, right? There are different arguments for each side. And so if I go, stop sharing the results. All right, so for LeBron James, all right, he is currently playing tonight against the Nuggets to try to win a title for LA. But would he be considered a specialist or well-rounded as a person? And so that's something that a question I pose to all my families or my parents at these conferences of, yeah, like with a person like LeBron James, who, right, is a specialist, obviously, in basketball, would I, if I was LeBron James's parent, what I tell them, you know what, LeBron, you need to relax with your basketball. I heard that colleges like people who do 5,000 hours of community service, plus play a musical instrument, plus be a part of ASB, because they want well-rounded applicants. So LeBron, stop playing as much, put down the basketball, and start playing the violin in addition to your ASB. So would that make sense? You know, and it's hard to gauge the audience, but hopefully it doesn't make sense to tell him that, right? Another example of someone that is slightly successful is this guy, Elon Musk. So I know in Irvine, I see a lot of Teslas around. So a lot of you drive his cars. He also is responsible for sending rockets to space and Solar City, as well as digging an underground tunnel and sending us to Mars or whatnot. But if I were to tell Elon, if I were Elon's dad, and he's a high school student, Elon, you're too scatterbrained. You're involved in too many things. You're interested in too many things. You need to just focus on Tesla. If you focus on Tesla and just your cars, you'd be the best, you know, electronic vehicle around, and you would beat everyone else, and no one has to worry about you. So just focus on one thing and be really, really, really good at it. All right. So would it make sense to tell Elon that, as opposed to, right, not doing all the other things that he's really enjoys and creating an impact in other ways that he does? No, not really, right? And so he might be considered in some respects well-rounded, right? Well-rounded in a certain field, however, but he's just doing what he's doing, right? And so what is the point of talking about these two highly successful people in different areas, right? It's basically shifting. I always get this question from my families. Okay, they ask, what are colleges looking for? What do I need to do to be impressive for colleges? And I find that that's the wrong question. Instead of asking what are colleges looking for, I would shift to, right, what do I love doing? What are my strengths? What am I passionate about? And I know that our school is big on passion. Like, what do I do that I don't need my parents to remind me to do? Like, what comes naturally to me? Because you're gonna find that that's really what colleges are looking for, authenticity. Students who are doing what they enjoy, and then at the end of the day, they have a much fuller, more impressive profile because they've done the things they love. Whether it's focusing on one thing, right, being an excellent violinist or excellent pianist, or being someone who likes to sample, right? We do have students who are part of video production in our PNN, but they're also part of like 5 different clubs because they just love getting their hands in everything. So it's really more about listening to, you know, what your student really loves to do, and really encouraging that with them, whether it's one thing or a variety of things. And so, right, this is the perfect circle. Hopefully, all of your, you know, all of your responses mention that, you know, your definition of success for your child is being independent and being happy, right, being successful. And so hopefully we can get all of our kids at that sweet spot to where it's a mix of what they love doing, what comes naturally to them, and what pays them. Okay, so you know, if they're doing something they love, but you know that's not going to necessarily go anywhere, that's something that, you know, you would really need to reflect on, and that's kind of our goal in giving them these college and career opportunities for them to explore themselves and what they enjoy doing while in high school. And so the college planning process is that self-inventory. And so really figuring out what are my strengths and interests. And then once your student has a better sense of their strengths and interests, now it gets into, okay, so how do my strengths and interests tie to careers or majors of interest? Sometimes the major come first, then followed by the career, or vice versa. That's why you see that circular arrow. And then, all right, once I figure that out, what are the colleges of best fit? Which colleges have the majors that I'm interested in? Which colleges fit my personality and my strengths? And so that's kind of the process that we want our students to think about, kind of beginning with the end in mind. And so the 4 systems of higher education in California, all right, are the community college, Cal States, UCs and private schools. And so Ms. Markowitz will be going over, giving a quick overview of these different systems. And we'll be going over this more in our summer conferences.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Ichon. I'm going to first start by higher education. The California community colleges have 116 campuses throughout the state and serve more than 2.1 million students annually and transfer nearly 80,000 each year to the University of California and California State University systems. Irvine Valley College is one of 2 colleges in the South Orange County Community College District, the other being Saddleback College in Mission Viejo. The traditional 4-year college experience isn't for everyone. Some students aren't sure what they want to study, while others are looking for a more affordable education. Many students study for 2 years at community college before transferring to a 4-year college, saving significant money on tuition. Community colleges empower students to achieve their educational goals by providing high quality and innovative programs and services, leading to academic degrees, college transfers, certificates in career and technical education, basic skills, and workforce development to enable lifelong learning. For example, Irvine Valley College has an honors program which is designed to meet the needs of academically talented and highly motivated students. The honors program offers eligible students access to many of the following opportunities, such as small seminar-style honors classes, guaranteed priority admission review at many transfer institutions, including UCLA and UCI, and priority registration for classes, just to name a few. 2 of the most popular transfer agreements available to IVC Honors Program members are the UCLA's Transfer Alliance Program and the UCI's Transfer Honors to Honors Program. The CSU plays a critical role in providing future leaders with the skills and knowledge they'll need to thrive in the workforce and help drive California's economy. With nearly 127,000 annual graduates, the CSU is the state's greatest producer of bachelor's degrees and drives California's economy in agriculture, information technology, business, hospitality, life sciences, healthcare, public administration, education, media, and entertainment. The CSU system is made up of 23 campuses across the state of California. It educates approximately 482,000 students every year, and it's one of the most diverse student bodies in the United States. The minimum grade point average to apply to the CSU is a 2.0. There is no essay to write for the application, which is a plus, and the following CSU campuses are not impacted, and those are Bakersfield, Channel Islands, Dominguez Hills, East Bay, Maritime Academy, and Stanislaus. The UC system includes more than 280,000 students and more than 220,000 faculty and staff, with 2 million alumni living and working around the world. From all backgrounds and ethnicities and incomes, UC attracts the best and brightest. UC undergraduates come from all over California and they work hard to make it to college. In fact, 37% of students that attend UC come from low-income families. UC's faculties are the drivers behind innovations in biotechnology, computer science, art, and architecture. There are 9 UC campuses throughout California which offer undergraduate and graduate degrees. Applying to a UC is a lot simpler than you think. That's because students can apply for as many campuses as they like with just one application. The minimum grade point average requirement to apply to the UC is a 3.0. Please note the GPA, which is evaluated on the UC application, consists of the academic courses a student completes in the 10th and 11th grades. UC applicants are evaluated beyond grades and test scores as there is a holistic review process. Some of the factors which are considered in the application are listed here, like GPA, AP scores, the rigor of a course schedule, personal statements, extracurricular activities, special talents, academic accomplishments, and life experiences and special circumstances. It's good to know the pool of students who apply to UC is very different every year, and the acceptance rates depend on the number of applicants, their academic qualifications, and the spaces which are available on each campus. And now I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Epris, who's going to talk about private colleges.
Awesome. Thank you, Mrs. Markowitz. So yes, I'm going to be talking about private colleges. So you can see here USC, which is a very well-known private institution in Southern California. And then we have Stanford up in the Bay Area. So what to consider when you're applying. So because these are private schools and private institutions, they have the ability to adjust their tuition to their benefits or to the likes. And so although private schools can be a bit more expensive than UCs and Cal States, they do offer generous financial aid packages. Again, they are private institutions, so they're going to have their own, or they may have their own requirements. So while we encourage all of our students to meet the A through G requirements, which help them meet the UC and Cal State system, be sure to start researching private universities to see what their requirements are, because they may be a tad bit different from the A through G requirements. A big difference between private schools and the Cal States and UCs is that letter of recommendations are typically going to be required by your learners' teachers and counselors, and we will further discuss that process next year in their junior year as well as well into their senior year. Okay, so I just talked about private institutions that are here in California, so now I'm going to be talking about exploring out-of-state options outside of California. So with out-of-state colleges, something to consider is that when your learner is planning to apply, they would be charged, or they would qualify for an out-of-state tuition, which tends to be a lot more than an in-state tuition. So a great resource to use is called the Western Undergraduate Exchange. I like to call it the WUI. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but what it is, it consists of an agreement between 16 states. And so what they do is, if you qualify, it's going to support students who are applying to out-of-state schools and help them qualify for in-state tuition. So for example, if your student is interested in applying to the University of Hawaii, rather than being charged that out-of-state tuition, using this WUI program, they can qualify for the in-state tuition. All right, and so how can you as a parent get involved and stay informed? We are going to be holding our sophomore planning conferences later this year. We're going to be doing it in a group format via Zoom, where both the learners and parents are invited. We as the counselors will be covering your learners' individual academic plans, going over college admission test planning, post-high school options, your students' Holland Code personality results, and then any specific questions that you may have. Okay, and we will be meeting with all 10th grade students by providing a guidance lessons where they will complete their Holland Code personality test or type on Naviance through a career interest profiler. Like Mr. Ichon mentioned, this year is all about your student pursuing their interest and finding their interest. And with the assistance of the Holland Code personality test, it's something that that can help them find their strengths. So this here is just a summary of the Holland Code personality type. So your learner will take a career interest profiler, and based off of the results, it'll give them their top 3 Holland Code personality types. And you can see here, we have the realistic, social, investigative, enterprising, artistic, and conventional. And we'll go into further detail in your sophomore planning conference about how to align their Holland Code personality types with careers that perhaps they'd like to pursue in college or in the future. All right, I'm going to pass it on to Ms. Murphy to talk about the usage of Naviance.
Thank you, Ms. Epris. The results of your child's Holland Code personality type and career interest survey can be found on Naviance. And Naviance is a great college and career planning tool that all Portola students have access to. Counselors and teacher advisors utilize Naviance during advisement and guidance lessons throughout the year. And we really encourage parents to go over the results of their learners' surveys with them and explore their personalities and potential career matches. So Naviance has a resume builder where learners can log all their volunteer, community service, hours, awards, and accomplishments throughout high school. And having a current updated copy of their resume can be really useful when applying for volunteer, internship, or job opportunities, and also for college applications. One of the simplest and best ways to get involved is to simply start a conversation with your child, listen to them and encourage them to pursue their unique strengths and interests by getting involved in their school and community. Have a discussion with your child about their future goals. Talk with them about which college environment would be the best fit for them based on academic offerings, size, location, and what their goals are and what type of college experience they really desire. Finally, encourage your child to seek support from their counselor and teacher advisor to stay on the right track to reach their goals. We're here to support learners and we're available throughout the week during our office hours. One of the many resources available to learners at Portola is Paper, which is a free online tutoring service. Learners can access Paper through a link found on their grade level Google Classroom. And speaking of Google Classroom, this is the class code for the 10th grade Google Classroom. Learners can download the Google Classroom app on their phones and receive up-to-date announcements and information. So it's really useful for them to stay up to date on everything that's going on at school. Attend parent meetings. You can stay involved and informed by attending all parent meetings. Counselors host these meetings for each grade level where you can receive timely information regarding your student. Another great way to get involved, Ms. Gibson talked a little bit about PTSA at the beginning of this presentation, and it's a great way to connect with the school community. You can find details on how to get involved on the PTS website, which you can find through our Portola homepage. Other ways to stay connected are by following us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We post important dates, events, and happenings on these social media sites to keep our learners and families informed. So they're great ways to keep in touch. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact us. We're here to support you and your children. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Thanks for joining us and have a great evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. We will be sending a copy of this presentation to all of our parents for reference, as well as the slides. So have a good rest of the day.